The arena on October 4, 2025 buzzed with anticipation. The air was thick with electricity, every seat filled, every fan on the edge of their seat, waiting for a night that promised not just action, but history. This wasn't just another fight card. This was a collision of destinies, a night where the past and future would meet in the octagon. The crowd's energy was palpable, not just for a title fight, but for a shot at redemption. Fans from around the world had traveled to witness a story that had captured the imagination of the MMA universe. Alex Pereira was back, determined and focused, to face the only man to defeat him at light heavyweight, Magomed Ankalaev. Their rivalry had become the talk of the sport, a narrative of unfinished business and burning ambition. Their first fight at UFC 313 left questions that echoed through gyms and living rooms alike. Analysts debated, fans argued, and both fighters were haunted by what had transpired that night. Ankalaev's tactical dominance had not only taken Pereira's belt, but also shattered his aura of invincibility. For the first time, Pereira looked human, beatable. Many wondered if Ankalaev was simply the unsolvable puzzle for Pereira. Was this a stylistic nightmare, or could Pereira adapt and overcome? The debate raged on, fueling the anticipation for this rematch. Now, headlining UFC 320, Pereira had a chance to rewrite the story. This was his opportunity to silence the doubters, to prove that champions are defined not by how they fall, but by how they rise. For Pereira, this was about more than a belt. It was about reclaiming his identity as a dominant force. Every punch, every round, would be a statement to the world that he was still a force to be reckoned with. For Ankalaev, it was about proving his first win was no fluke and cementing his legacy. He wanted to show that he wasn't just a one-time champion, but the true king of the division. The stakes were sky-high. A second loss would define Pereira's ceiling, while a win would make Ankalaev the undisputed king. The pressure was immense, with both men carrying the weight of expectation and legacy on their shoulders. The MMA world watched, knowing this fight would shape both men's legacies. Every fan, every analyst, every fighter knew that what happened tonight would be talked about for years to come. Would Pereira's redemption arc end in triumph, or would Ankalaev close the book for good? The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the fighters made their final preparations. This was more than a fight. It was a battle for legacy, for pride, and for the right to be called the best in the world. The world held its breath, ready for history to be written once again. Few knew the true extent of Pereira's struggles before his first fight with Ankalaev. He entered UFC 313 at just 40%, battling a fractured tibia, a nightmare for a kickboxer. Every step, every kick, was agony, robbing him of his greatest weapons. On top of that, he fought through a severe illness, draining his energy and focus. Training was impossible, his body was broken. Yet Pereira went 5 rounds with an elite champion, enduring punishment most would never withstand. His loss in this light became a testament to his heart. The rematch now carried a new question. What could a healthy Pereira do? The stage was set for a very different fight. For both men, UFC 320 was more than just another fight. It was a career crossroads, a moment that would define the trajectory of their legacies. The air was thick with anticipation, the stakes higher than ever before. Every fan, every analyst, and every fighter in the division knew that what happened inside the octagon that night would echo for years to come. For Alex Pereira, this was a shot at redemption, a rare opportunity to rewrite the narrative after a crushing defeat. He carried the weight of expectation, not just from his team and fans, but from himself. Every punch thrown in training, every hour spent perfecting his craft, was fueled by the desire to prove that his first loss was an outlier, not the rule. This was his chance to show the world that champions are defined not by how they fall, but by how they rise. A victory would do more than restore his reputation. It would cement his place among the UFC's all-time greats, joining the ranks of legends who overcame adversity to reach the pinnacle of the sport. It would be a testament to his resilience, his skill, and his unbreakable spirit. But the shadow of defeat loomed large. Another loss would not only hand Magomed Ankalaev a decisive edge, but it would force Pereira to confront difficult questions about his future in the division. Would he be able to bounce back, or would Ankalaev become the one opponent he could never solve? His personal kryptonite? For Ankalaev, the stakes were just as high, but for different reasons. This was about validation, proving to the world that his style, his discipline and his strategy could always neutralize Pereira's explosive power, no matter the circumstances. He wanted to show that his previous win was no fluke, but the result of superior preparation and skill. A second consecutive win would silence the doubters, erase any lingering questions, and launch Ankalaev into a dominant reign as champion. It would be the start of a new era, with his name at the top of the division and a target on his back. The stakes couldn't be higher. Dynasty for one, redemption for the other. Both men stood on the edge of greatness, knowing that only one could seize the moment and shape the future of the light heavyweight division. The outcome of this fight would ripple through the division for years, affecting rankings, future matchups, and the very landscape of the sport. Every contender was watching, knowing their own paths could be altered by the result. This was more than a title defense or a comeback. It was a defining moment for both men, a battle that would be remembered in highlight reels and history books alike. Every exchange, every round, carried the weight of legacy. The world watched, holding its breath, knowing that history was about to be written in real time. Fans from every corner of the globe tuned in, united by the drama and unpredictability of the sport. In the end, only one man would leave with his legacy intact, forever changed by the crucible of competition, and forever remembered for what he achieved on that unforgettable night. When the bell rang at UFC 320, fans expected a tactical chess match. Two elite fighters feeling each other out, trading feints and low kicks, searching for weaknesses. The anticipation in the arena was electric, with everyone bracing for a drawn-out war of attrition. Instead, what unfolded was a storm, sudden, violent, and impossible to predict. The opening seconds were a blur of movement and intent, as both men looked to seize the initiative. Pereira wasted no time. He charged forward, radiating confidence and intent, his eyes locked on Ankalaev. Every step he took sent a message. He was here to finish business, not to play it safe. Cutting off the cage with precision, Pereira unleashed a thunderous right hand that staggered Ankalaev, sending shockwaves through the crowd. The impact was unmistakable. This was no ordinary punch. Sensing blood, Pereira pressed his advantage. He unleashed a relentless barrage of strikes, trapping Ankalaev against the fence. Each punch was thrown with bad intentions, each one chipping away at the champion's defenses. Another furious flurry landed clean, and Ankalaev crashed to the canvas. The champion, once so dominant, now looked vulnerable and exposed. Pereira followed him to the ground, raining down vicious elbows. The referee had no choice but to intervene, stepping in to save Ankalaev from further punishment. The fight was over in just 80 seconds, a blink of an eye in championship terms, but more than enough to make a statement that would echo through the division. The arena erupted in disbelief and awe. Pereira had demolished the man who once beat him, turning the tables in spectacular fashion. Fans leapt to their feet, roaring approval for a performance that defied expectations. This wasn't luck, nor was it a close call. It was a display of total domination, a champion statement delivered with ruthless efficiency. In just over a minute, Pereira erased all doubts about his place at the top. He silenced critics and reminded everyone why he's considered one of the most dangerous men in the sport. The king had reclaimed his throne with authority, leaving no room for debate. His victory pose said it all: a champion restored, a legacy cemented. In less than a minute and a half, the rivalry's narrative was rewritten. The story of these two fighters had a new chapter, one defined by Pereira's power, precision, and unyielding will. UFC 320 had its defining moment, a night when a champion returned, a rivalry was redefined, and the world witnessed the making of a legend. The stats from UFC 320 tell the story of Pereira's dominance. Their first fight lasted 25 grueling minutes, with Ankalaev controlling the action. This time, it was over in 80 seconds. Pereira landed 28 strikes to Ankalaev's 4, a blizzard of offense. Each shot was thrown with fight-ending intent, overwhelming the champion. Ankalaev, known for his composure, never found his footing. It was the first knockout loss of Ankalaev's career, snapping his 14-fight unbeaten streak. The numbers: 80 seconds, 28-4, say it all. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Pereira didn't just reclaim his belt, he annihilated the narrative of their rivalry. The division had been put on notice. Pereira's 82nd TKO did more than win a belt, it made history. He became only the third two-time light heavyweight champion, joining legends like Couture and Jones. The finish was the fastest of his MMA career and the second quickest in UFC light heavyweight title history. Pereira's journey from kickboxing king to two-division, two-time UFC champion is extraordinary. With 12 MMA knockouts, he's building a legacy of pure power and finishing instinct. This win silenced critics and cemented his place among the sport's greats. Pereira is now a historical figure in MMA. After the fight, Pereira's actions spoke volumes. He calmly adjusted his shorts, a signature taunt, signaling his return to dominance. But in his post-fight interview, he showed respect and compassion, asking for a moment of silence for Jon Jones's family. He addressed his previous loss simply, "I told everyone I wasn't in good condition last time. Tonight, you saw the real me." No excuses, just validation through performance. Pereira's blend of killer instinct and humility won over fans and fighters alike. He proved he's not just a champion in the cage, but a leader outside it. His redemption was complete, both in action and in spirit. The MMA world took notice. With the belt back around his waist, Pereira's options are wide open. Jiří Procházka looms as a thrilling challenger, promising fireworks. Carlos Ulberg, Pereira's own teammate, is on a hot streak and could be next. A trilogy with Ankalaev remains a possibility. But the biggest intrigue? A move to heavyweight, chasing a third title, perhaps against Jon Jones or the winner of Aspinall vs. Gainey. Whatever he chooses, Pereira's next move will be must-see. The King's reign is just beginning. UFC 320's fallout will reshape the division and the sport. Pereira's dominant win elevates him to superstar status, with fans clamoring for his next fight. For Ankalaev, the road back is steep, his aura of invincibility shattered. The UFC now has a champion who delivers highlight reel finishes and crossover appeal. Pereira's redemption story and potential move to heavyweight inject new energy into the sport. His 82nd triumph will be remembered as legendary, a champion overcoming adversity and reclaiming his throne. Fans have witnessed the rise of a special talent, capable of changing a fight in an instant. Whether he stays at light heavyweight or chases history, all eyes are on Pereira. The next chapter promises even more drama. The King's story is far from over.